Howdy! I thought we'd look at the videos I deleted over the last 11 years due to controversy. I've been on this weird website for over a decade now. I've got some strange stories to tell you, but let's tell them. Originally, I've kept why I removed these videos hidden, but hey, what have I got to lose telling you? With that said, you know the drill. Let's begin. Let's talk about the worst Italian cartoons. Although I wasn't particularly proud of my performance in this video, it actually wasn't removed due to my cringy, terrible acting.
Welcome back, traveler!
Or that awful Italian accent. It was so bad. I removed it about 8 years ago due to a very disturbing set of emails I received. Basically, I received emails from a dangerous cult that proudly claimed they were harassing and doxing Italian creators in my name. And they were showing my worst Italian cartoons video at the forefront of this harassment. I don't even think my notifications from YouTube that my channel had been terminated in 2015 horrified me as much as these emails did. The idea that someone was hurting other people in my name was just grotesque to me. And I immediately told these very mentally disturbed people not to harass anyone and that I would never condone this behavior. I pointed out to them that in a lot of my videos I would say, if you like it, that's great, it's just my personal opinion.
If you like these episodes, good for you. It's just my personal opinion.
It's a cliche for me to say that. Sadly, they seem to take my response as somehow condoning their behavior and continued to harass people. But looking back at the video, I realized at the time this was one of the very few videos I'd forgotten to start with that disclaimer. So I kind of felt like I screwed up on that one. A few months later, I was actually contacted by an Italian cartoon creator. They said that themselves and their employees were being harassed by this creepy cult in my name.
I will never watch your show or break if I see you crossing the street.
I said I had nothing to do with these people, and I told them to go to the police. What made me feel most powerless in this situation was that there was nothing I could do to stop these people from claiming to act in my name. It reminded me at the time just how much of an influence someone can have just making videos on the internet. It's a wonderful thing, but it can also be a scary thing. What you say matters, and that's why it really annoys me when people just say anything on this platform.
Everyone involved with it should be thrown in jail!
I've received threats before, but seeing an innocent person receive threats in my name is among the worst experiences I've had on YouTube. I was powerless. There was nothing I could do to stop these people except remove the video. Looking back at the unlisted video now, I did really enjoy making it, and it has some funny skits in it. I really think that pop-up skit is really funny.
It looks like a cheap, play-for-free Korean MMORPG that pops out internet spam every 12 seconds. The problem with this... Excuse me, do you mind?
I don't think my cartoons around the world videos were very good at all, but I do miss doing them. It was actually doing something a little bit different to what a lot of the other cartoon YouTube creators were doing. It was a long time ago, and I wasn't liking my performance of those videos. I was waving my hands around like a lunatic.
This is a PhantomStrider.
Oh, that performance though. This is a PhantomStrider. My voice was so obnoxiously loud. I just can't stand that over-boisterous delivery nowadays.
And I think we can agree this pizza somehow looks more appealing than this cartoon.
Plus, loads of people like Winx Club, and I didn't do nearly enough research on that series. I think I watched like 3 episodes. Pathetic.
Because personally, I think this cartoon is just one big stale magical fairy cliche with cereal box social messages that contain all the wisdom of a fortune cookie.
I mean, we all know Tentacolino is right to be the #1 worst, but like, Winx Club is a childhood memory to so many people. It's an innocent feminine cartoon that doesn't hurt anyone. What did I have against it? A lot of regrets for this video, even though I thought the pop-up skit was funny. Maybe I should just keep that skit.
Damn spam!
Though I would like to bring cartoons around the world back. I did really enjoy that. The most controversial anime. This is actually the first video I've ever removed. There's a good chance you haven't heard of this one as I made it 11 years ago. If you have, well, thank you. I'm deeply grateful you still follow my channel. Anyway, I really can't show much of this video without being demonetized and immediately flagged as adults only on YouTube. I removed this video about 10 years ago, mainly due to the extremely horrific subject matter. I basically discussed every single no-no you can think of in the ESRB, and aside from also being immediately flagged as adults only only, I also didn't feel like the video was in the spirit of the channel. It was 2014 and I didn't even try to censor the extreme gore, violence, and decapitations. The only part I actually censored was the cannibalism. Okay. Ironically though, I think it was actually flagged as adults only due to the animated nudity. Again, those TV standards, watching people brutally murdered, that's fine, but an animated nipple, that's a fridge too far. I just realized how ironic that is. Like, nipples are like the first thing we see when we're born. And many of us end up seeing a lot of them the first year we're alive. It's kind of important for food. Anyway, my weird tangents aside, the last 3 anime on this video were hyper gruesome and controversial, even by Japanese television standards. They were something else. Mutilation, human experimentation, ladies, it was all there. Ooh. The number 1 even discussed the founding anime that came up with tentacles to begin with. Shoujo Tsubaki in particular always causes my videos to get flagged adults only. I call it the worst anime of all time in another video that also got flagged. And given I felt nauseous even watching my old review of this anime, I get YouTube's decision. Looking back 11 years ago, despite the controversial content, I actually felt this video held up pretty well. I tend to be hypercritical of a lot of my old videos, I can't even watch some of them. But here I wasn't overreacting or just waving my hands around, I was just reacting to these really weird, disturbing anime. Oh, fun fact though, this actually put me off video production for 3 months. I went back to the service station full time after this. It was terrible. Anyway, let's move on to slightly more recent times. My next removed video was the worst South Park episodes. Some of this video is actually more relevant to me than ever in calling out South Park's issues. A show that proudly told people that it thinks kids should be hit instead of medicated, or that cigarettes are fine because who wants to live to be 90 anyway, or that everyone you vote for is either a douche or a turd and it doesn't matter who you vote for. Just great. The bringer of apathy. Anyway, I've never actually received ever more negative feedback in a video than when I covered these worst South Park episodes. One of the top comments was, all these episodes he doesn't like, it's because he doesn't get the joke or point. Cause goodness forbid there can't be a bad episode of South Park apparently. You think some of the Sonic fandom is bad? I'm the Sonic fandom. Check out some of the South Park fandoms. Some of those people are not nice. Either way, the video was really hated and received more dislikes than any video I've ever made. I actually had a few people commenting just that I should stop making videos because of this video. At the time, the video got about 1.2 million views and 5,737 comments. And at the time, I was getting anxiety attacks every day reading some of these comments. This was the first reason I considered removing the video, but not the actual reason. I've heard people say you shouldn't read the comments.
First rule of the internet. Do not read the comments.
But I take any feedback I get very seriously to try and improve my videos. But what made me immediately decide to remove the video was an email I got. It was from someone in the transgender community. At the time, my only experience with the transgender community, it was the episode Mr. Garrison's Fancy New V. In other words, I had no experience with the transgender community. And South Park misinformed me extremely. This was the number 1 worst episode on my video. In the episode, Mr. Garrison paints the most transphobic depiction of transgender people I've ever seen to this day.
I'm pregnant, everybody! Oh boy, now I can have an abortion!
It treats people making a transition as obnoxious, impulsive, making the decision on a relationship.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Oh. As I said, in my teens and early 20s, this episode was my only exposure to transgender people.
I'm not really a woman, I'm just a guy with a mutilated penis.
And in this 10-year-old video, I said that I didn't like people transitioning because Mr. Garrison was my only exposure. I'm ashamed I said that, and I'm ashamed that I'd upset this person because they were a fan, and this very real person had contacted me and very politely explained to me why this video saddened them, and I don't blame them. From this video, I actually started to meet real people who were transgender, not just the garbage transphobic trash that Trey and Matt were putting out.
I can't tell you how free I feel identifying as a woman.
I still haven't fully forgiven myself for this South Park video. Honestly, I don't mind upsetting the South Park fans. Cool, please unsubscribe. But I don't know if I'll ever forgive myself for making that person in the LGBTQIA+ community feel alone in that moment. There's plenty of people out there praising the crap out of South Park. But much more importantly, the idea that my comments might have hurt someone in the LGBTQIA+ community, that deeply ashamed me. So that was the last straw and I removed it. Looking back though, I do stand by the worst choices I made for this list. I haven't watched the show in many years, so I don't know how the new episodes are nowadays. But at the time, these are what I considered the worst, and I stand by them. Though I would add Human Centipede, that was so bad. If you're curious of the choices I made for the worst South Park episodes, they were The Return of Chef, About Last Night, Eat, Pray, Queef, A Million Little Fibers, Butt Out, Ike's Wee Wee, Scott Tenorman Must Die, which I realize is a fan favorite, but I personally didn't enjoy it, Terrence and Phillip NWMA, Britney's New Look, and obviously Mr. Garrison's Fancy. Anyway, you get the picture. The next video I removed is Worst British Cartoons. This one's a 9-year-old time capsule. Look at that terrible acting.
Good day, cheerio and jolly good show.
I removed this video for 2 reasons. The first reason was this video was really badly researched on my part, and I claimed that Tugs was bad only after watching 1 episode.
Tugs is dull, ugly, and makes an ancient boat history class look thrilling by comparison.
Understandably, this upset a few people. I wasn't nearly as experienced with the show and I wasn't giving it a proper review. Weirdly though, even after I enlisted the video, I still found people finding the video and commenting they didn't like what I'd said about Tugs.
Who are you people?
And then I privated it, but of course, you can't get rid of something on YouTube. Someone uploaded the video on their own channel, so it's just like I couldn't win. The second reason I removed this video is, frankly, it's really cringe.
Dull caveman simulation since 15,000 years ago.
I think a lot of my old videos are cringe, but this one particularly, so cringe. It's really badly acted by me, and I feel upset at myself whenever I see these old videos and just see how bad I was in live action. I've always been pretty critical of my videos, but frankly, that critical voice has gotten even louder over the years. Frankly, if I were a new viewer and I first watched Worst British Cartoons, I'd never watch this guy's content again. My delivery has changed a lot over the years, and frankly, I don't feel like these old videos represent my channel today.
Even the name sounds pug-fugly.
But Cartoons Around the World was one of my favorite video series to make. The concept, I think, is really good, looking at the worst and best of cartoons via the country. Worst and best South Korean cartoons, worst and best German cartoons, worst and best Russian cartoons. I feel like it makes the cartoon community think a little bit outside the usual cultural bubble. Many of these Cartoon Around the World videos were my first experience being on camera. At least, acting live action anyway. I think the acting in the later Cartoons Around the World videos were okay, like worst and best Russian cartoons or worst and best Korean cartoons, but what always came up in my feed was worst British cartoons and worst Australian cartoons, and frankly, I think they're among my worst videos.
I have no excuse.
There's no way I wanted people to see this as the first thing on my channel. I'd rather them see none of me than this, honestly. Anyway, you get the point. As a result of this, I removed worst British cartoons. The next removed video is the most controversial cartoons. I removed this one about 9 years ago, mostly due to the controversial content. The video was flagged as adults only due to the controversial cartoons, but it was more the swearing that bothered me. As long as it's not derogatory and hurting others, I honestly have nothing against swearing, go for it. Like, the F and the S, whatever. But I didn't feel it was in the spirit of the channel, the amount of swearing I was doing in this particular video. Swearing like a madman was such a thing around this era. I think AVGN started it, and he did it well. He's a great creator, but I felt like everyone else was trying to ape his style, and people were just swearing like sailors in 2015. In this video, I covered a lot of cartoon episodes that were banned over the years. Like Dexter's Lab Rude Removal, that's where most of the swearing came in.
So you're off then? Yeah, we're gonna go f*** up your lab!
I was reviewing other controversial episodes like Invader Zim's Organ Harvest or that drug episode from Captain Planet. I even covered things that weren't cartoon episodes like Winston's cigarettes ad. That's not even a cartoon, Josh.
Oh, that sucks.
And Donald Duck the Führer's Face, the episode that has Donald Duck as a nizzy. I also covered the Censored 11 Looney Tunes episodes and Drawn Together, which is now available on Paramount Plus, but it's very much in the adults only section. Honestly, looking back at this video, I didn't mind it. I kept the reviews very short. I was quite practical. I wasn't overacting or anything as much. It was more the fact that I was replacing all the beeps with the actual swears in my voice, and I was like, that's really weird. Like, so in all of Rude Removal, where they're swearing like a sailor and there's beeping, I would actually put, instead of the beep, my swears in, so you get the full experience, because I was just trying to be transparent with you. But it also didn't feel within the spirit of my channel for me to be swearing like a sailor, so there you go. Whether it be drawing, writing, or even social media posts, you probably create art yourself in some way. Have you ever decided to remove some of your art yourself? Feel free to share your own experiences in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Jeepers, I love this song. It's me in my happy place. Anyway, thank you as always to my Patreon bosses who keep me making these videos. In between videos, my goal is to do at least one more charity live stream before the end of the year. I'm gonna try and add some more activities to this live stream to interact more with you watching. And of course, an extra thanks to these patrons here. Oh, and if patrons don't like this, let me know and I'll do it normal next time. Anna Jones, John Bundy, Orstes Mick, Angel Angioli, Recat Day, Fractal. Been lovely to chat with you recently. Katie and Dalton, the Furry of Fury, Miss Arceus, Joseph Bowers, Jordan McCann and Miss Chandler Amethyst, Megan Bruns the Hog Wizard, Ray and Graves, I'm totally making this work, Saturn Yoshi, William Johnson, Adassin, IndieCore 2, Joe Ferry, doo-doo-doo, Mewtwo Shadow FNAF Girl, Checkered Omega, and of course Handpan. I'm out of names to say. This was a bad idea, da-da-da-da-da-da, but I do love this song, da-da-da-da-da-da. I'll leave you alone now.